Welcome to Day 3 of the European Youth Olympic Festival in Utrecht. It features the best of the youth athletes from Europe and plenty of medals up for grabs. In the jaarbeurs, the second day from the judo competition up to 66 kilo class. In gymnastics, it's the ladies' teams event. We'll reach the last four from the volleyball and basketball competitions. The women, the 100 metre freestyle. And in athletics, the blue ribbon 1500 metre and 400 metre events. Yesterday we saw the male gymnasts in action for the first time. Today it was the ladies' turn. It was qualifying for the floor and apparatus events, and there were medals on the line for the teams events. The Netherlands girls performed very well, but were unable to keep in touch with the likes of Russia and Great Britain, finishing 9th overall. Dana de Groot, a good performance on the balance beam, a little bit unlucky with her dismount. The first bronze medal for women went to Romania. Laura Jurka was the team's best performer in the vault, 14.5, an outstanding score. Tremendous leap from Laura. Yesterday, the Russian boys picked up silver, falling 2 points short of the Great Britain score, who won gold. Today, they were eager to turn the tables. In the ladies, their performances were graceful and precise. They surged ahead of the Brits in the end to pick up gold. Maria Karenkova, with a score of 13.850, was the best gymnast on the floor exercises. So overall, it was Russia's gold, silver Great Britain, bronze Romania. Round 3 of the men's tennis, and it's Miomir Kecmanovic of Serbia up against Casper Ruud of Norway. A very hard-fought first set in this one. Kecmanovic, though, seemingly on top in the white and taking the first set in a tiebreaker, 7-6. Then in the second set, again, early on, it's point for point, stroke for stroke. However, Kecmanovic always seemed to have the upper hand in this match. Beautiful overhead smash to win the game. And now it's Kecmanovic through to the quarterfinals. In the women's third round matches, Theresa Michelekova from Slovakia took on Tamara Arnold of Switzerland. As we've seen in the opening rounds, Michelekova not scared to charge the net and volley, working it beautifully on that particular point. A lot of patiently working of the ball in this game. The first set went to Michelekova 6-3, and as we can see, both players just working the ball around, waiting to try and find some space. Michelekova now, beautiful passing shot, and wins the match 6-3, 6-1 through to the quarterfinals. In other women's third round action, it was Christina Wolfgruber of Austria up against Aspasia Avgeri of Greece. Avgeri of Greece was the 7th seed, but certainly Wolfgruber got on top early and managed to go on and win this one 6-3, 6-4. In the women's quarterfinal, the top seed from Hungary, Rebecca Galfi, in all sorts of trouble up against the unseeded Anastasia Detuic. That shot very long, and as we can see, Galfi extremely frustrated. Galfi admitted before this tournament that she was going into this with a back injury, and as we can see her opponent working that ball around, and the frustration and the pain absolutely clear on the top seed's face. Now a very contentious point here. Was that ball out? Where's Hawkeye when you need it? And there we see Mrs. Galfi at the back there on the baseline. The players about to have a discussion about it. Galfi's frustration boiling over. Calls for fair play from Galfi, but she still concedes the point, and certainly no argument from Detuic. There it is, the back playing up again, in need of treatment. Certainly things not looking good for the top seed. Some beautiful stroke play from the lady from Moldova. Galfi doing her best to stay in this one. Just playing it very carefully on match point, straight into the net. And what a disappointment. One of the major upsets of this tournament. Galfi out in straight sets, 7-5, 6-3.
I'm really sad that I lost because I wanted to win the tournament, but I came here with an injury. So it was quite hard for me, difficult. Yeah.
Great interest in Pool B of the men's volleyball, with all 4 teams still alive for the semi-finals, including Poland in the red and France in the blue. The Poles off to a good start. Siumatkowski, the big don't argue, and putting Poland ahead. They went on to win the first set 25-23. They took the second 25-29. The French clinging on, trying to stay in this match and keep their semi-final hopes alive. The Poles scrambling beautifully right throughout this match, and even though they lost the third set, they went on to win this 3-1. The French despairingly out of the competition. The irony of this match between Italy and Belgium was that Belgium, who are yet to win a game, was still in a chance to make the semis. But it was Italy in the white who got off to a flying start. Making every post a winner, they took the first set 25-19. Sensing victory, the Belgians struck back in the third, but in the end, it was Italy winning 3-1, progressing to the semis. So it'll be Russia versus Italy, Poland versus Turkey in the Big Four matchups. In the women's competition, Group B, Slovenia unbeaten up against Italy. A beautiful touch there by the Slovenia side. Italy in that unenviable position of a must-win situation, really with their backs to the wall, but kept their hopes alive, taking it to 2 sets apiece. In the end, Slovenia too good, winning 11-2 in the fifth. In Pool A, the Netherlands had the luxury of knowing they had an unassailable lead at the top of the table and were a little relaxed against Serbia, who had to win to keep their hopes alive. Beautiful setup from the Serbians, but it's out. So the Netherlands going ahead early and looking okay. But there was no denying the spirit of the Serbian side, keen to make it through to the Final Four. Some sloppy play towards the final stages by the Netherlands team. The Serbians making it obvious they weren't to be denied. The Netherlands a little lackluster, but certainly ready for the semi-finals. Serbia, easy victors, 3-0. So the semi-finals, it'll be Serbia versus Germany, Slovenia versus the Netherlands. We'll see a different Netherlands in the next game. In the women's 57-kilogram class, it was Dutch girl Hilda Jager up against Romania's Stefania Dobre. The girl from the Netherlands in the blue, seemingly more powerful than her opponent, and able to execute a perfect ippon there, and victory for the Netherlands. Already 2 gold in judo for the host country. Just 16 years of age, a bright future ahead. Here it is on the replay. Beautifully done. Jager gold and Dobre silver for Romania. In the girls' 52-kilogram class, it was France's Gwen Paytin up against Romania's Theodora Balasoiu. Watch this. Beautiful ippon, and it's gold for France. The battle for bronze was between the 2 neighbouring countries, the Netherlands and Belgium. In the blue, it's Van Krebbel from the Netherlands, and there she is, taking victory over her Belgian rival, Marina Bouwmans. Tremendous effort there, and a bronze medal to go with the 2 gold for the Netherlands. In the men's 60-kilogram class, Georgia doing well in these games so far, and this is Georgi Katsiashvili up against Dmitry Minku of Belarus, and it's victory for Georgia. the 18-year-old picking up gold and silver for Belarus. Up to 66 kilograms, and it's Bosnia versus Russia in this event. Zadro versus Chasnigov. A real tussle. Chasnigov in the blue with all the aggression, looking to gain the upper hand and eventually pinning his opponent and taking gold for Russia. Chasnigov with gold and Zadro silver for Bosnia-Herzegovina. Another of the blue ribbon track and field events. It's the 1500 metre for boys. A small field of just 6 runners contesting this one. And it was Baptiste Michelekova from France. It's been a great game for the French so far, streaking away in the end from William Crowe of Ireland and Riccardo Usai of Italy. Final time, 3 minutes 57.38. In the men's high jump, Russian favourite was streaking ahead in this one. The field tried to keep with him, including the Frenchman Sejours. He picked up the bronze. The silver went to Manea of Romania. Lysenko picking up the gold with a height of 2.08 metres. In the final of the 400 metre men event, it was expected to be a very close affair. The results right throughout the season have been very close. So, as Alexander Doom hit the lead in the early stages, it was still a very open contest. Down the final straight, it's Belgium, Denmark, Romania. Alexander Doom, finally of Belgium, clearing out to win the gold. Vidal from Denmark second, and Mararu of Romania bronze. In the 1500 metre girls, the clear favourite was from Russia, Elena Pauskina, and she went to the front very early in the event. Giving chase were France, Ukraine and Spain, but as expected, the Russian always in control, pulling away to win easily with a time of 4 minutes 25.98. France picking up the silver through Cassandra Beaugrand, and it was Ukraine with the bronze, Katerina Siriak. France's fantastic campaign in the track and field events was expected to continue in the girls' 400 metre. Lindra Serena Kati, the best time this year, streaked out front early and made every post a winner. Interest only in the minor placings, that was fought out between the Ukraine, Denmark and Russia. But beautiful striding there from Kati. She went on to win in a time of 54.31, the silver going to Koba of Ukraine and Kierkegaard of Denmark scoring the bronze. The women's 100 metre freestyle, and certainly some hot competition in this race, but there was no going past Irina Opensheva of Russia. The red hot favourite, looking good from the outset, motoring home over the final stages to score her 3rd gold of these games and notching the fastest time since 205. Tremendous effort. 100 metre breaststroke for men, and the smart money was split between 2 competitors. From Great Britain it was Charlie Atwood, and from Russia Anton Chupkov. They were in the thick of the action as they came to touch for the first time, with Atwood and Chupkov almost inseparable towards the final stages. Atwood or Chupkov, in the end it was the Great Britain man, Atwood, to take the gold just ahead of the Russian, with Croatia's Obrovac picking up bronze. The 200 metre women's breaststroke, and it was Abby Wood of Great Britain, still on a high from scoring the 1000th medal of the Summer European Youth Olympics, red hot favourite to take this one too. As they came to touch for the first time, it was Wood and Kudako, and in the charge home, Wood just nudging ahead, picking up another gold for GB, Ukraine second with Kudako, Samanchi third for Turkey. In the 100 metre women's backstroke, what a great finish this turned out to be. The 3 contenders from Hungary, the Netherlands and the Ukraine. Obviously the local crowd right behind their girl Iris Chonk. But look at this finish, neck in neck, stroke for stroke. It's Matya Sovkai and Kolesnikova up with Chonk touching first. The Hungarian Matya Sovkai with Iris Chonk of Netherlands second and Kolesnikova third. Amazingly close, only 33 hundredths of a second separating the top three. In the women's 200 metre medley, yet again, Abby Wood in action. All eyes on her in lane 5. But some very stiff competition coming from Hungary in Svilvasi and Spain in Meso Valdez. As they went to the breaststroke, she was looking good, but also Svilvasi and Meso Valdez keeping with her. Walters also keeping in touch. In the end, it was Svilvasi nudging in for the gold, just beating Abby Wood and Spain's Meso Valdez. A silver to add to her 2 gold. Abby Wood, a sensational games. A vital Group A match between Austria and Sweden, with the loser of this game bowing out of the tournament. Sweden in their familiar yellow colours, working that signature ball around the parameter, and what a goal from Hansen! Once again, Sweden showing they're hungrier, but it's still neck in neck. It was 15-14 at half time, but Sweden now patiently waiting for the gaps to appear. Eventually it was Felix Klar, who had handled several times in this play, that found the back of the net. Austria though, keeping their hopes alive, staging a late finish, getting a lucky rebound and a well-earned goal. But in the end, it was Sweden, 30-27, through to the semi-finals. It was do or die for Germany in their Group B match against top-of-the-table Slovenia. The Germans had been leapfrogged by Norway earlier in the day following their win against Croatia. The Germans were well served by Michelekova, squeezing one near the inside post there. Time running out, neck in neck. Germany shooting and missing. It's Slovenia, the victors. Top of the table and progressing to the semis. They now take on Sweden, while Belarus will play Norway. In Group B, Hungary, well and truly out of this competition, were up against Sweden, who needed to make the most of their opponent's hopeless situation. Sweden, the perennial great performers, were expected to take this very easily, but Hungary were always in this match. In that occasion, it was Dora Krug who scored a point. Surprisingly, Hungary kept with Sweden. It was neck and neck all the way. In fact, it was up to Sweden to level the scores, which they did. Now, prowling around the goal. They're looking for the winner. Time running out. Philippa Sarabran has to make it count. Hits the post. Unbelievable. Full time. Even the keeper's advancing now. It's Hungary looking for the win. 25-25 the final score. Amazingly, Sweden eliminated. So in the semi-finals, Netherlands, Russia, Germany, Denmark. In the Group B men's basketball match, Poland and the Netherlands were playing for pride. Poland showing some great early intensity. One of their best performers, Marci Bender, had a fantastic game. The Netherlands, attempting to get back into this match, were always behind the 8 ball, although there were some great moments, particularly from their shooter, Jacob Stolk. The Dutch crowd, very pensive, but in the end, it was too little too late, despite a steal as the buzzer sounded, and it was finally 53-41 to Poland. Group A in the men's basketball, always a grudge match between Serbia and Croatia. Serbia top of the table and the favourites, always looking to assert their height and strength advantage. Nick Slavica there, putting Croatia on the board. Serbia with a great height and strength advantage. Were always in this match. It was a neck-and-neck affair, but in the end, some very handy three-point shooting for the Croatians kept their hopes alive, running out eventual victors, 71-66. Netherlands and the Czech Republic began this match with just one win from their opening 2 games, making it a must-win encounter for both teams. Elia Bouwman for the Netherlands was in fine form early on, shooting a three-pointer, which certainly has helped the home side. The teams went bucket for bucket throughout most of this encounter. Theresa Sipova was a prolific scorer for the Czech Republic. They worked the parameter well and in the end were able to take the points. It was Michelekova securing victory in the end, 77-63 for the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic now through to the semi-finals. In Group A, winless Belgium had virtually no chance of progressing to the semi-final. It was Hungary looking to keep their unbeaten record alive. Belgium's defence let them down yet again, and the prolific scorers for Hungary came to the fore. In the end, an easy victory for the Hungarians, going through undefeated, 72-54. France and Hungary through to the semi-finals from this group. Some memorable moments on day 3, and tomorrow it's on to the business end of the team sports and the tennis. There's medals up for grabs in the cycling road race and more gymnastics, swimming and athletics.